Happy New Year, survivors, and welcome to the review of 2020. In this episode, we go through all the highlights from Ark 2020, and we'll also be going through what's to come in 2021 from Ark and from Ark News. And joining us on this journey through time, making his third appearance on Ark News, it's William.
I'm back, baby.
Welcome back. So, let's begin. With everything that has gone on in 2020, it can be difficult to remember exactly what has happened and what has been released with Ark over the past year, but well, do not worry, because I have a list of all the different things, all the important things that have happened in Ark over the past year. So, we're going to start way back in February. We had the release of Genesis Part 1. I should mention at this point you are getting a slight teaser of Episode 15 with a look at the Ragnarok server. So, slight teaser there for Episode 15. So if you'll get a head image of what's going to happen with Episode 15. So, more on that later. With the new creatures like the Mechalodon, Bloodstalker or Bog Spider, Feroxes, the Astrosutus or Space Whale, and of course the Magdemosaur. New items that came with Part 1, the Cruise Missile Launcher, Fishnet, Mining Drill, the Tech Claws, which were featured in the trailer, the Tech Grenade Launcher, Tech Shoulder Cannon, Metal Ocean Platform and the Wood variant of the same, Pressure Plate, the Tech Sensor, Tech Jump Pad, and of course the Tech Hover Skiff. So William, Genesis Part 1. Let's talk about Genesis Part 1. Obviously, controversial release, as we all know, with the restriction of flight.
Yes, not Carl's best idea, that's for sure.
Yeah, and obviously something that could be corrected in servers, as you remember. We had our server, and we had the option to allow flyers, and we did do just that. So we could fly, but I think it was actually an option on official servers that it wasn't allowed. So
yeah, official servers, the flying was banned, which was
an interesting choice
because they introduced the space whale in that one, and it was a flying creature. But you know,
a flying creature that could teleport as well, which is also extremely fascinating. Talking about the creatures, I mean, any of those creatures jump out at you that you can remember?
Oh yeah, obviously the Magnesaur. I love the Magnesaur, a creature that basically lived in lava. It was obviously one of my favourites. And the space whale. I did enjoy the space whale.
Bit large though, as we discussed.
Bulky, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and also we had, as a tribe, I think, trouble with the map as well. I mean, do you want to talk about that, William?
Oh, the map. This was not one of Wildcard's finest ideas. The fact that up till Genesis Part 1, the maps were all a map, and you get to each biome just by jumping on the back of your dinosaur and getting
Wyvern,
there.
or yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Wyvern, dinosaur, the creature, and getting there. Then of course they come along with random teleport you. It felt, whether it's expected or not, was
Yeah.
and
I mean, it wasn't the best.
You know, made me feel, for a word, claustrophobic. You've gone
Yeah,
from a
I mean,
massive open world to, here's your little corner. If you want to go anywhere else, you just teleport.
Yeah, I mean, I established a teleporting network via the tech teleporter on our server to try and, because, funnily enough, HLNA, the little robot, was unsafe to use for teleporting. So, one of those things, I think, as you say, it did feel a bit entrapping, I think. And I would agree with you, it wasn't exactly the best of moves.
And of course, I didn't like the whole mission idea. I thought that was forced in. I thought that was more of an afterthought than it. The mission points took up such a big part of the biomes that
it was a struggle
corner
to build.
was even smaller.
Yeah, despite the fact, again, as we ran our own server, we could change that. But that wasn't
most
something
of the
you could change unofficial.
biomes were very deadly. Very deadly.
Yes.
Ark has been known in the ages, you will die. You just go on Ark and the official server, or even if you just play on servers, but not in survival mode, you're going to die. But Genesis Part 1 seemed to put that to the extreme.
Yes, it's particularly where we decided to go, I think.
Well, it wasn't just where we decided. I went to the lava biome, and within 30 seconds of being there, I got attacked by a Magnusaur. And then when I thought back in, he was only around the corner.
Yeah, it was
the
very...
only one that felt safe was the ocean biome.
Yeah, and even then you did really
But that was terribly designed, because it was just big rocks jutting out the ground. The sea. And you could... Because obviously, when we first got to the map, we couldn't fly. So you get to the ocean biome and you're swinging a little rock.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just one of those things with that release. But yeah, I mean, let's hope in the future that there's a better future. So, after Genesis Part 1, they announced the 3 map. So that being Crystal Isles, can't speak English, featuring 3 new variants of Wyvern, the Tropical Wyvern, the Blood Wyvern, and of course the Emerald Crystal Wyvern, which at the time were the first Wyverns to become breedable as well. So also the new flyer, designed for dogfighting with the jet booster and the grain launcher, and also being able to perform aerial manoeuvres and catch the slipstream of other flying creatures, the Triponantungufs. Still can't say it. So, again, Crystal Isles, another wonderful free map on the modding community, I thought. It's amazing. I think we're still exploring it now, as a tribe.
Crystal Isles made up for all the shortfalls.
Oh yeah.
The new Crystal Wyverns, well, interesting. They had special abilities. They had lovely colours.
Yes.
The map was a beautiful map with several biomes in it.
Oh yeah.
Much better than Genesis in every way, shape and form.
Oh yes, and giving us new Wyverns was, that was amazing. And probably something we were all looking forward to as soon as it was announced.
Oh yes.
particularly some key members of our tribe who are wyvern crazy.
Just a little bit.
You know, and again, the new flyer is quite nice as well. Even that's
Yes, the new Pavachara skin. Because unfortunately that's what it was. But
yeah.
it did come with an interesting ability to basically be an industrial grinder.
Oh yes, of course.
So, because an industrial grinder takes a lot of resources to make, as anybody would know, and it takes up a lot of room.
Oh yes.
Not to mention, it's quite heavy on the gasoline costs.
Yeah.
And the fact that we now have a creature that can be a grinder.
Yeah, and another unique ability that's new is quite nice.
It really helps. I think.
I would agree. I think so many times we get creatures that are sort of don't really have a new unique ability. But with that one it felt, something completely new, completely fresh. You know, something we could all
And to be
enjoy.
fair, it was something that the game was missing. Because
yeah, a creature that could grind. That's
up to
definitely
now,
true.
you can get a creature that could be a smithy. In fact, you get several creatures that can be a smithy. I believe the
RG.
Magnusor could have been your industrial furnace.
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
And obviously now we've got a creature that could be your grinder.
So you've pretty much got all the tools that you use inside your base as a creature.
Yeah.
There you go. Another tip from us all there. So, probably something that we're not all aware of was TLC 3. So this is where the devs look at some creatures that haven't been looked at since the beginning of the game. So I featured this in the last episode of Alt News. So the Mammoth, featuring the new war drum and some of the new abilities like the trunk feature where it can blow its trumpet and slamming on the ground, and also the Stegosaurus with the new armor plating where it will move the armor plates to defend its survivors, or in case of the tech it changes colours, and also the impaling of survivors. The older variants of the Wyvern, the original 4, Ice, Fire, Poison and Lightning, are all now breedable, and also some insects, I believe the Spider, the Arano, the Mantis and the Scorpion, can all now breed, whereas before they couldn't breed. So they've all been now given a breeding functionality, if you really want to go and tame spiders, scorpions and mantises.
The Scorpion is actually pretty fun to ride. I mean, it's useless in every way, but it is pretty fun to just get on and scurry about.
No! The Scorpion is not useless because you can use it instead of a tranq rifle, and you can tranquilize creatures with its
I'm aware of that ability. Unfortunately, I never saw it working very well in before its TLC.
And I believe that may have got an update where you can now actually do a physical taming, so to speak, with it. So that might, again, another great use for a creature rather than a rifle. So if you prefer to fly around, trouble is I'm always on something that doesn't carry a lot, or if I'm flying around, I'm looking for, mainly I look for tech stegos. So a Scorpion really isn't ideal for the way I do tech stego hunting. So it doesn't really work, but I'm sure it will work for others who watch this channel. And for PvP players, you can knock out players. So that, I'm sure
Yes.
that will be helpful. If your goal is to not kill. I guess. Who knows? Yeah, anything else you quite liked from TLC 3, William?
I always like it. I always like it when a dinosaur gets an improvement.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's always nice to have an improvement on a existing dinosaur.
Yes, I would agree. So, at the start of the year, we had the release of Part 1 of Genesis, and in October of 2020 we had the reveal of Genesis Part 2, and we saw all of that information in the last episode of Arc News, episode 12. So, what did you think, William, to Genesis 2? Obviously, we know what I thought. Last episode. Part 2.
I can't really, Arc 2, I can't really say anything until
Not Arc 2, Genesis 2.
Yeah.
Genesis Part 2.
Well, I can't really say anything until I've actually seen it, played it, given it my own personal opinion. Because
I think that was a lot of the things that were coming out of the reveals that I was going through yesterday, the other day, was that it was a lot like that. It was just a lot of...
I just hope that the lessons have learned from Genesis Part 1. And the map won't be like Genesis Part 1.
I would like to hope so too. You know, I can kind of see that. I can kind of still see that happening. And as I said in the last video, I do think that they have listened to the feedback from Genesis 1 and have tried to go on and improve, but, you know, as I say, I can't speak for the game, for that part yet, because we haven't seen it yet, so, you know, who knows. And of course, as Will happily alluded to, at the end of the year we had two big announcements from Wildcard at the Game Awards. The reveal of Arc 2 and of course Arc the Animated Series, both of which caused a large stir in the community. So obviously, William, again, probably with Arc 2, it's probably another situation where you probably want to see the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't make any informed decision until I've watched the game. Because, you know, it wouldn't be unfair to Arc and Wildcard, and to, you know, how can I make an informed decision?
And of course, the animated series as well. I mean, what were your thoughts?
I do like the idea of an animated series. But it's one of those things that'd be like, well, what's it going to be like?
Yeah. It's probably another one of those things where you'll probably have to review it.
I've always find that series comes off a computer game, or even a movie that's coming off a computer game, it's not been a very good representation. So we're just going to have to see and hope for the best.
I think so.
But if it's
So,
executed well and it does what we all hope it's going to do, which is give us more lore behind this game, then it will be so interesting.
yeah. Again, that's probably something a lot of the fans of the story of Ark will probably know quite well. So, what we'll talk about now is just, obviously with Genesis 2 coming and Ark 2, with the news of Ark 2, obviously we know that there's potentially going to be another free map. So, William, what are you looking forward to in what is now 2021, an Ark going forward?
Well, I'll always be looking forward to the new games. The new game, obviously, but I don't think that's going to be this year. It's next year, I believe, is the earliest.
To correct what was stated in the last video, early access will be 2022. So that's most likely the beta version.
But I would always look forward to it because, they always bring out, not only ever bring out maps, they always bring out things to go with that map.
Yes.
It might end up being a very interesting year for Ark.
That's certainly possible.
Or alternatively, it might end up being the year where everybody rage quits.
Let's hope not. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Let's hope.
And so to round the episode off, a nice short one for everybody this week. We're going to quickly just talk about things to come with Ark News, because obviously 2021 brings a new year of coverage and brings some new and fresh perspectives on things. So, some changes on the off. We're going to start doing some coverages on different subjects. So rather than just me continually talk about the news of Ark, we're going to start covering some things that are in Ark. So the first of these is going to be server ownership, and two of my tribe rates will hopefully be joining me on that discussion, who have been running the servers longer than I have been playing the game, and they'll be joining me on episode 15 to discuss server ownership, which is why you're having a teaser of Ragnarok now, because this is our longest running server, and we'll go through all the tips, the pros, the cons. We'll discuss everything about running a server that you'll need to know. Another one of these is going to be some building tips, so what to build in and when, and things like that. So just some helpful guides, and hopefully some tips on wyverns as well. So that's the first three that I'm planning at the moment, and then obviously throughout the year there'll be some more as we go, because obviously with Ark, with Wildcard, there's never always permanent news, so that's why we're having some new features being added. So that's one of the big changes. There'll be some subtle changes along the way. Videos are now available in HD. You might have noticed on episode 12. Probably not. So that's, again, another new feature, and obviously, hopefully, some technological advancements have also been made, and hopefully we'll be able to bring Ark News into a more modern state. And that's about everything from this. A nice short episode compared to last time. So, is there anything else, William, that you want to mention?
There's only one thing, that's one parting comment. I now believe the sky's become useless due to the fact that we can now breed our So
I I would probably try not to agree with that, because I think you still want to hatch an egg every now and then. Maybe, I don't know, but who knows?
but apart
Because
from
of course
that, no, that's all I've got.
All right. So, thank you, William, for joining us on episode 13 of Ark News, and
You're welcome.
have a great New Year, survivors.